So since it's around the holidays, I thought it might be kind of nice to kind of scale back a little bit and tell a few stories here, because a lot of my friends love it when I tell some of my stories from my days in the classroom and also my days when I was homeschooling. So I thought, why not share with our community here some of my favorite stories. So this story, just for a little bit of background here, what I would always do is I always had something with my sixth grade classroom where I would invite them to think about a story and then really think about from the point of view of this mysterious narrator. I wanted them to say, okay, create something where you're not coming out right out and saying who is doing the talking, but the reader has to infer who the author is, like who's telling the story. And I always made it really super mysterious. I always assigned it around Halloween time. And so I would always model my writing for my classes. And I did this through, okay, I'm really gonna date myself here. I always used the overhead projectors, loved those. I've used smart boards, but I can still say overhead projectors are the way to go. Anyway, I would always start off by writing my stories there on my overhead projector, just teaching the kids basically how to think about storytelling and how to think about writing, and I would think aloud as I was doing it. Anyway, as I was writing this story, I always wrote a story about, from the perspective of a ghost. It was Halloween, they're sixth graders. I figured that's going to capture their attention, and most of the time it did anyway. So that's what the assignment was. So I wrote this whole thing where you didn't find out who was speaking till the very end, that it was a ghost telling the story. Creepy, whatever. So afterwards, one of my little girls came up to me and she was all concerned. I mean, like really concerned. She comes up to me and she's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I know the truth about you. Well, I can only imagine what my face must have looked like as I'm sitting there listening to her going, okay. So I asked her, it kind of begs the question. So I said, what did you find out? She's like, I know the truth. You're a ghost. That explains why you're so pale. That took me a moment. I mean, I realize I am self-aware enough to know that if I get any more pale, I will be transparent. I get it. I have been known to be anemic in the past. I know. I've never had a problem at the doctor's office. They've always been able to find the vein. In fact, there's like, oh, it's like a little blue-green road map on your arm. I can probably trace it all the way to your heart, which I can almost see beating through your transparent chest. I get it. But still, I had to have looked at her like, really? That's what you think? I'm undead and I'm teaching you. But then I also had to step back just a minute because I was thinking also, I could actually go with this, this might actually be a decent thing because, I mean, let's think about it. If that's the case, then you could totally be like, yes, get your work done. Get your work done, get your homework done, because if you don't, I'm going to come to your house and I'm going to haunt you. I will haunt you. And you will never be left alone again. So I had that thought because, getting sixth graders to do their work is not always the most easy task of all. I thought, yeah, I could do that. I could work with this. But no, I did actually come clean and say, no, dear, I'm actually alive. I'm not sure the school board would approve of hiring a ghost, but go sit down. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed my story here, and we'll have more stories in the future. And if you want to share some of your stories, go ahead and do so. We would love to hear from you in the comment section. And we hope that you have a great week and a very happy holiday See you soon.